SES Defender of Freedom uploading data log for days 89 through 91 of the Galactic War. Hello Data Archive, the Meridia supercolony continues to pose a great threat to Super Earth. Terminid outbreaks are erupting in nearby systems, and Helldivers across the galaxy are deploying in defense of managed democracy. Following the shutdown of the TCS on the barrier planets, High Command has shared details on the situation in Meridia. Unlike the other barrier planets, the mutations in Meridia, along with the continued exposure to the Termicide, has caused the bugs to reproduce at unprecedented rates. Scientists have determined that Meridia is now infested nearly to the same level as a Terminid home planet, giving way to its official declaration as a Terminid supercolony. The Ministry of Science has ongoing investigations on how to solve the Meridia issue. As for the scientists who worked on the Terminid control systems, they've been taken into custody and are under investigation. But as for the bugs that chose to mutate on Meridia, they're guilty as charged. Things turn for the worse on day 89, as massive outbreaks of Terminids have erupted on multiple planets, seemingly linked to the Meridia supercolony. It seems that the supercolony is producing spores that are transferring to other planets in its nearby vicinity, leading to massive outbreaks that have immediately caused us to lose control of these planets. The planets that have been impacted by these outbreaks include Heath, Angel's Venture, Veld, and Akamar 4. In response to this, a new major order was announced by High Command for Helldivers to liberate these 4 planets in approximately 4 days. To make matters worse, Pandion 24 also had a Terminid uprising. This is the first time in this war that we have seen Terminid outbreaks in the Jin-Shi sector. Following the receipt of the new major order, Helldivers spread across the 5 stupid bug-infested planets, with most favoring Heath and Angel's Venture. Many Helldivers may recall Heath and Angel's Venture from our first ever major order, Operation Valiant Enclosure. Despite our best efforts, the size of the Terminid outbreaks on these planets were far worse than we could have imagined. Throughout the course of Day 89, liberation decreased on all planets except for Heath. It seemed our success was only possible if many Helldivers united on one front. Going into Day 90, Helldivers focused on Heath as a first liberation target for this major order. Many veteran Helldivers may look back fondly as their first deployments as cadets in this war. Heath's environmental conditions include extreme cold and blizzards. While the fighting was fierce in the first day of these outbreaks, it seemed Helldivers were starting to break through on the frozen planet. Although the liberation of the other 3 planets have dropped significantly, by 1700 hours on Day 90, Heath saw liberation once again. This did unfortunately come at the cost of the defense of Pandion 24. Following the liberation of Heath, Helldivers chose to deploy to Angel's Venture next to regain control of another planet in the Orion sector. And by the end of Day 90, liberation was starting to increase significantly. Throughout the majority of Day 91, Helldivers continued to fight in Angel's Venture. The united effort on this beautiful planet was turning the tide against the bugs. The non-thinking insects were not able to stand up to our firepower, oftentimes not even knowing what hit them. By 2000 hours on Day 91, the liberation of Angel's Venture was complete. With 2 planets left requiring liberation and only a day and a half remaining, it seemed the completion of the major order may be out of reach. Day 91 also saw attacks on 2 of our planets, a Terminid attack on Fenrir 3 and an attack by the automatons on Lasath. With the focus of the Helldivers on the major order, progress in these defenses is not looking good. For the remainder of the day, Helldivers focused on Veld. The liberation of this planet will regain control over the Orion sector once again. At its current pace, we expect to see Veld's liberation by the end of Day 92. This concludes this data log for days 89 to 91 Data Archive. We have been more than generous with the spacious farming enclosures allowed to the Terminids in our farming planets. Their outbreaks are nothing more than pure insult to the generosity of Super Earth. They deserve nothing more than having the descent squished out of their bodies as we liberate our planets. We are deploying Helldivers to Veld.